We showed up late to the family reunion on purpose. Not because of traffic. Because when you arrive late to family events, you miss the awkward questions. You miss the forced hugs. You miss the part where everyone pretends last year's drama didn't happen. My daughter Leah was in the passenger seat smoothing out her shirt like she was preparing for a job interview. "Do I look okay?" she asked. "You look like you," I said. "That's not what I meant." She stared out at the ocean, then asked the question I'd been dreading, "Are Grandpa and Grandma excited to see me?" I kept my eyes on the road. "They'll act excited." That's not an answer. It's an answer. Just not the one you want. Then, and Aunt Cassandra? There it was. The name that always lands in my chest like a dropped cup. "Cassandra likes attention," I said carefully. Leah smiled a little. "Everyone likes attention. Not like Cassandra." She didn't argue after that. She just looked smaller for a moment, like her excitement had bumped into something sharp. But then she sat up straight again because she's 13 and hope is still her default setting. I didn't know it then, but in less than 3 hours, my sister would stand up in front of everyone, point at my daughter, and say something so cruel the entire room would go silent. And what my grandmother said next would change everything. The rental house was one of those coastal places trying hard to look charming. Weathered wood, sand everywhere, a kitchen that smelled like someone had been frying something since 2007. The moment we opened the door, sound hit us. Laughter, plates clinking, someone shouting across the room. My dad saw us first. He smiled that obligatory family photo smile. "Naomi," he said. Not angry, not warm. Just acknowledgement. Quick hug. 2 pats. Done. My mom appeared and touched my arm like we were close. Then she leaned past me toward Leah. "Oh my goodness, look at you." Leah lit up. Of course she did. My mother can be wonderful in short bursts. She can play grandma like it's a rehearsed role. My daughter has only ever seen the performance. Then my sister Cassandra arrived. Perfect timing, like she'd been waiting outside until she knew eyes would be on her. She didn't walk into the room. She entered it. "Naomi," she said with a smile that looked expensive. Leah looked at her hopeful, curious, trying to be liked before she even knows the rules. Cassandra bent down and kissed Leah's cheek with an exaggerated smack. "And this must be Leah." Cassandra's eyes flicked over her. Quick. Assessing. Then she looked at me with that expression I remembered from childhood, "I'm being nice. You owe me for it." Leah didn't see any of that. She only saw attention. Then the room shifted. People turned toward the doorway. My grandmother, Rose, had arrived. She came in slowly, supported by someone at her elbow. Smaller than I remembered, but her eyes were the same. Sharp. Quiet. Leah's face changed instantly. Relief. "Grandma Rose," she breathed. Before I could say anything, she was already moving through the room. Everyone else floated in and out of Leah's life like seasonal decorations. My grandmother stayed. She called. She asked questions and waited for real answers. Leah adored her for it. My grandmother hugged Leah carefully. "There you are," she said, like she'd been holding a place for her. Then she looked at me. "Naomi, I'm glad you're here." That sentence had weight. My grandmother doesn't waste words. Dinner happened in pieces. Plates passed. Stories told. Laughter a little too loud. Leah stayed close to my grandmother. Cassandra stayed close to my mom. My dad hovered between everyone, smoothing, nodding, never choosing. Then, when plates were empty, my grandmother stood. Deliberate. The room quieted. My grandmother rested both hands on the back of her chair. "I won't keep you long." Her eyes landed on Leah. "For my amazing great-granddaughter, I have a gift." Leah froze. The good kind of frozen. "I've been working with my lawyer. I'm setting up a trust." The word trust changed the air. My mom's posture shifted. Cassandra's smile faltered. "It will be hers. Protected. No one can touch it. When she turns 18, she'll have full control. Leah's eyes were wide. Grandma rose. My grandmother lifted a hand gently. Let me finish. There may be small distributions before then for things that support her future, but the main thing is this, it's hers. Soft applause moved through the room. Someone said, "That's wonderful." Then I looked at Cassandra. She wasn't smiling. She was staring at my grandmother like my grandmother had just handed the family home to a stranger. Cassandra's face went pale. My mom's mouth tightened. My dad's eyes flicked between them, confused. My grandmother sat down carefully, like she'd placed something valuable on the table and was waiting to see who would try to grab it. There was a beat. A small silence. Then Cassandra stood. Decisive. She pointed at Leah. She is mentally behind. Don't give her money. The silence that followed wasn't polite. It was the kind that happens when everyone in a room has the same thought. Did she really just say that? Leah blinked. Confused first, then hurt. My grandmother stared at Cassandra in complete surprise. Then she said very quietly, "You really don't know who she is, do you?" Cassandra's mouth opened. Her eyes darted. Wait, really? For the first time, she sounded less like a performer and more like someone who just realized she didn't know her lines. My grandmother didn't argue. She corrected the record. "Leah," she said, turning toward my daughter. "Sweetheart, stand up for a second." Leah hesitated. Her hands were shaking. Then she stood anyway. My grandmother looked around the room. "Some of you already know this because you've been in her life." That line landed clean. Leah has been accepted into the Kendrick Achievement Fellowship Program. A highly selective gifted program. A ripple went through the room. Soft gasps. Quiet exclamations. Leah's cheeks flushed. Her eyes flicked to me like she wasn't sure if she was allowed to be proud in the middle of being attacked. Straight A's. Recommendations. Interviews. My grandmother kept her tone calm. I paid the deposit. The deposit. That was the part that made the room understand. Not just that Leah was accepted, but that it was real. Recent. Verified. Cassandra's arm dropped slowly. My grandmother tilted her head. "So when you say you know who she is, I have to wonder what child you're talking about." Leah's breath hitched. My mom stared at the table. My dad's face did that uncomfortable shifting thing. And Cassandra just stood there. For once, she didn't know where to put her face. If you'd asked me 10 years ago whether Cassandra would ever point at a child in front of witnesses and try to shrink her with one sentence, I would have said no. Not because Cassandra is kind. Because Cassandra is strategic. To understand why she did it anyway, I have to go back. Not to Leah. To me. Growing up, Cassandra was the center of everything. Whatever she wanted, the house shifted to make it happen. My parents didn't make speeches about favoritism. They practiced it quietly. In tone. In attention. Cassandra was gifted. I was difficult. Cassandra was talented. I was trying. Cassandra sang and my mom would glow. I sang and my mom would tilt her head like she was listening for a reason to be impressed. Then came the choir audition. A selective children's choir. My parents talked about it like it was already decided. Cassandra would get in. I was discouraged gently. "Don't get your hopes up, Naomi. It's very competitive." Cassandra practiced loudly in the living room. My dad praised her. I practiced quietly in my room, door half closed. Then we auditioned. I got in. Cassandra didn't. The shock on Cassandra's face was the first time I understood she believed the family story as much as my parents did. For a second, I thought maybe they'd adjust. Instead, they minimized it. They comforted Cassandra like she'd been wronged. They treated my acceptance like I'd taken something that belonged to her. It lived in the way my mom hugged Cassandra longer than she congratulated me. It lived in the way my dad said, "Sometimes judges have preferences." Cassandra never forgave me for that choir. That's how resentments become family heirlooms. I left home as soon as I could. I didn't slam the door. I just stopped chasing approval I was never going to get. I also made the classic mistake of someone who's been emotionally starved. I mistook attention for love. I got into a relationship too quickly. Believed promises too easily. When it fell apart, I was left holding a baby and learning how to be steady on my own. Leah was the best thing that ever happened to me. She was also, at first, hard. Not because she was bad. Because she was wired differently. When Leah was little, she struggled with focus and emotional regulation. Bright one moment, overwhelmed the next. When Leah was 7, we didn't have a diagnosis yet. We just had storms. Then came the visit. We were with my parents and Cassandra. Leah was being Leah. Talkative, restless, excited, sometimes too loud. My mom watched her like she was studying a problem. Then they did the thing I recognized in my bones. In front of my child, they speculated she was behind. They suggested special schooling. Leah heard every word. I watched her face change. That was the last straw. I pulled back hard. No big announcement. Just distance. Boundaries. Minimal contact. Then Leah was diagnosed with ADHD. Once we had the right support and structure, everything shifted. Steadily. Leah learned how her brain worked. We built routines. Found tools. Leah thrived. Strong student. Motivated. Capable. Through all of it, my grandmother stayed involved. She called Leah. She listened. She showed up. My parents and Cassandra didn't. Then Leah applied to the Kendrick Achievement Fellowship program. She got accepted. My grandmother knew. Other relatives knew. My parents and Cassandra didn't. They weren't there. Then, months before the reunion, they reappeared. Texts. Calls. Warmth. I figured it out later. That's when they learned my grandmother had money. That's the thing about money. It doesn't just reveal character. It reveals timing. By the time we reached the reunion, I knew something was coming. Now I did. After my grandmother said gifted program, the room stayed awkwardly quiet. Leah wiped her eyes fast. She tried to look brave. She was shaking. Cassandra recovered first. I'm only trying to protect you, she said to my grandmother, voice suddenly soft. You don't know what she's like at home. Naomi has coached her. My parents backed her up. Not with facts. With tone. We didn't want to upset anyone, my mom said. We just thought you should know. My grandmother didn't argue about ADHD. She asked one question. When was the last time you actually saw Leah? Cassandra blinked. Regularly. My grandmother tilted her head. Name the last time. Cassandra's mouth opened. Closed. Her eyes flicked toward my mom. My mom stepped in. We've been around. We know. Then tell me something small. Something recent. Something you'd only know if you were in her life. Cassandra's face tightened. That's when I stepped in. I moved between Cassandra and my daughter. Put a steady hand on Leah's shoulder. Don't speak about my child like that again. My voice didn't shake. I didn't raise it. I didn't need to. Leah leaned into my hand. My grandmother looked at me once. Something passed between us. Recognition. Relief. Then she turned back to Cassandra and my parents. This is about the trust, my grandmother said plainly. And I won't have it. Cassandra tried to protest. That's not fair. We're done here. The room stayed quiet. You need to leave, my grandmother said. Cassandra stared. Stunned. My mom's face hardened. Mom. Not another word about her. Cassandra gathered herself with stiff, furious movements. My parents moved with her. They left. No apology. No attempt to comfort Leah. No glance that suggested a relationship beyond entitlement. When the door shut, Leah's control broke. She cried in that raw way that's not about one moment. It's about suddenly understanding adults can be cruel. I didn't do anything, she choked out. I pulled her close. I know. Why would she say that? Because she doesn't know you, I said softly, and she wants to pretend she does. Leah wiped her face hard, angry through the tears. But Grandma Rose knows me. Yes, I said. And that's why she couldn't win. Later, in the car, Leah stared out the window. So they don't actually know me at all, do they? No, they don't. Leah was quiet for a long time. That's what hurts. I reached over and took her hand, and I thought we'd made it through the worst part. I was wrong. The next morning, I woke up to an email that made my whole body go cold. It was from the gifted program. Polite. Professional. Distant. Leah's place was on hold pending review due to a video that had surfaced and raised concerns about integrity. It didn't say withdrawn. It didn't say expelled. Paused. My first thought was Cassandra. I opened my phone. I found it faster than I wanted to. A link in a group chat. Have you seen this? I clicked. Vertical video. Shaky. Warm lamp light. Leah's face framed too close. A girl off camera laughed. Say it again. Leah laughed too. Same mouth. Same dimples. Wrong sound. Video. Leah rolled her eyes. The funniest thing? Everyone is so stupid. I wanted to turn it off. I didn't. Video. Leah tilted her head. That gifted program? It's not even special. I don't even want it. The girl snorted. I thought it was like hard to get in. Video. Leah smirked. I hate studying. My mom got me the answers. The words landed clean. Too clean. All of them? Yeah. In advance. I don't even know how she got them. Big shrug. Theatrical. So you just memorized them? Obviously. 4 days. It was still hard, okay? People act like cheating is effortless. She laughed. Then she shifted gears. My mom said it's for inheritance. Like tons of money. No way. Oh yeah. My great-grandma loves all the hard work stuff, so my mom was like, get into the program and she'll be impressed. Hair flick. Performance flourish. And it worked. She believed it. She totally believed it. There. That was the point. Not the program. Not the studying. Convincing an old woman she was being generous to a sweet, grateful kid. Now she's setting up a trust. When I'm 18, I get the money. And then I'm done. Done with what? Done with all of it. School. Trying. Whatever. She laughed again. The camera jerked. Then the video cut off mid-laugh. I stared at the black screen. It wasn't Leah. It was a fake wearing her face. It was trying to rewrite the reunion. Trying to hand Cassandra a second chance to say, see, I told you. My immediate instinct was to keep Leah from seeing it. Which was impossible. But I could control how fast I moved. Screenshots. Timestamps. Links. Then I heard movement in the hallway. Leah came out, already tense. Kids know when the air changes. She looked at my face and froze. What happened? I tried to keep my expression neutral, but my body gave me away. Then her phone buzzed, and I watched the exact moment her world shifted. She didn't have to watch the whole thing. She saw enough. Her face. Her voice. Words she would never say. She made a sound. Half sob, half gasp. I didn't say that. I didn't say any of that. I know, I said firmly. I know you didn't. They're going to believe it. They're going to investigate it. That's not the same thing. She shook her head. The program. Did they see it? I said it softly. They put your place on hold. Leah's face crumpled. So I'm losing it. No, not today. I took her phone and closed it. Not as punishment. As protection. You're not watching that again. You're not reading comments. You're not letting someone else's lies live in your head. Leah wiped her face hard. Angry. Who would do this? I couldn't say Cassandra's name without turning it into a fire. Instead, this was done to you. It isn't you. Leah nodded. But her eyes were terrified. What if Grandma Rose believes it? We hadn't heard from my grandmother yet. I don't want her to think that's why I'm with her. I pulled her close. She knows you. She knows your heart. Then I stood up. Because Mother Bear energy doesn't look like screaming. It looks like action. I called a lawyer. I brought everything. The program email. The link. The screenshots. I walked in saying, someone is using a fake video of my child to destroy her reputation and her education. The lawyer watched the clip. Didn't flinch. We can take action. We filed a police report. The officer couldn't promise outcomes. But he said, uploads leave trails. Platforms keep logs. Leads can be followed. Through the lawyer, we got an expert to look at it. He paused the video on my mom got me the answers. Right there. He replayed it slowly. The sound hit first. The mouth followed a fraction late. Now look here. He tapped the screen at the edge of her jaw. The outline shimmered for a frame, then settled. That's a blend artifact. He skipped ahead. Paused again. The background jumps. See the couch? It shifts, then snaps back. That doesn't happen in a real recording. He leaned back. This isn't authentic. It's fabricated. Write that, I said. He did. 3 lines on letterhead. I took a photo. In the car, Leah sat with her phone face down. I know I didn't say it. But can you prove it's fake in a way they'll believe? I turned the phone so she could see the letter. Yes. At home, I opened the family chat. This video is fake. An expert confirmed it. I pasted the 3 points from the letter and attached the photo. Please stop sharing it. It's been reported and is being investigated. Replies came fast. I deleted it. I'm sorry. Who would do this to a kid? Leah stood behind me. Do they know who did it? Not yet. Later that night, the program emailed again. Still under review. But different. They acknowledged the video could be manipulated and wouldn't treat it as verified. Leah read it once. Then again. Near midnight, my grandmother called. Leah took the phone. I saw it, my grandmother said. And? It isn't you. I know my girl. After she hung up, Leah looked at me. So we're okay? We're okay. And we're not done. Because the video was fake. We proved that. The only question left, who did it? Time does something strange after a crisis. You look back and realize you lived weeks in a haze of adrenaline and phone calls. Leah stayed in the gifted program. That's the first thing you need to know. The video didn't take her future. Leah also stayed close to my grandmother. Weeks turned into months. Investigation turned into paperwork. Paperwork turned into court dates I didn't describe to Leah in detail. But I was there when it mattered. The upload trail led back to Cassandra. Platforms keep logs. Investigators follow them. Anonymous lasts until someone asks for records. Cassandra took a plea deal. 200 hours of community service. A year of probation. A no-contact order with Leah. She had to remove and stop distributing the video. The judge called it what it was, harassment aimed at a minor. Her community service was weekend work crew. Bright vest. Trash bags. Park cleanup. My parents weren't charged. But the family stopped treating them like harmless background characters. Invitations dried up. Group chats went quiet. My grandmother finalized the trust without fanfare. $150,000 for Leah. Locked until 18. Limited early distributions for education. And a trustee who doesn't share our last name. Cassandra was cut out. My parents were cut out. Signatures. Dates. Done. Then we went back to school days. Leah dove into the program, complained about the workload, lit up when she talked about it. The reunion blurred. But Grandma Rose's sentence didn't. You really don't know who she is. Did I do the right thing going to the police over that video? Thanks for listening, and if you liked this story, share it with others, and don't forget to comment and subscribe for more stories about families, second chances, and the people who show up when it matters most. Sometimes the people who claim to protect you are the ones you need protecting from, but real family? Real family sees you.